President, I come to the floor joining my colleagues who were speaking earlier today about the many U.S. citizens who are federal employees who are impacted by the shutdown. Here, Coast Guard second-class petty officer Amy Erin Hamilton, stationed in Seattle, Washington, is one of those individuals. The mother of 3 children, Sienna, age 10, Tucker, age 9, and Annabelle, age 5. Amy Erin is also married to Dan Hamilton, also an active duty member, and she's a shining example of the service and leadership that we see in our Coast Guard today. In December, she was given a meritorious advancement, which is rare and incredible honor. Despite this, though, she is working without pay and has had to seek outside income to support that family I just mentioned. This is the 26th day of a federal government shutdown, and yesterday, 55,000 Coast Guard personnel did not receive their mid-month paycheck. That had the Coast Guard Commandant issuing a letter to the workforce explaining what was happening, explaining that this is the first time that a branch of our military has not been paid during a government shutdown. We have 41,000 active duty members, 6,200 reservist members, and 8,500 civilians, and 50,000 Coast Guard retirees. That is the U.S. Coast Guard family. And 31% of the Coast Guard families do not have enough emergency savings to make it through this shutdown. A junior enlisted Coast Guard member with less than 2 years of service makes only $23,200 a year in base pay. That is at a level that is below the poverty level. So Coast Guard members who are currently being deployed overseas, that is, they could be in a combat zone, and these members are not receiving pay. So I hope that our colleagues will take into consideration this issue with our Coast Guard families. They are working hard to provide great care for us throughout our country and overseas. And when I think about the fact that a Coast Guard member could be deployed overseas in an area that had seen combat, an area that is an unstable region of the world, and they're not even receiving the child care subsidy and support to make sure that their families are taken care of while they're gone taking care of us, is just wrong. So I come here to join my colleagues who were here earlier today on the floor, giving examples of Americans throughout the United States who are working hard for us. It is time we work to get them their paycheck and continue to support them so they can support us. I know my colleague from Connecticut is here and would like to speak as well, and I thank him for allowing me to fit in this time to talk on behalf of the Coast Guard families. I hope that the Commandant's letter can now be seen as an example of why we need to act. We need to act to give these Coast Guard families their pay and to make sure that we are addressing the shutdown and reopening government. I thank the President.